Hey, what's going on guys? It's FPL Yusuf and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today we are at the last video of the Euro Fantasy Tournament. We're going to get into our last final team selection ahead of match day 7 and the final game week of the Euro Fantasy League. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, welcome back guys for one final time. This is going to be the last video on my channel of the Euro Fantasy, just looking ahead of the final match day. I'm going to get into our team selection and such a final preview around this lineup. Just before we start the video, if you guys won't mind just dropping a thumbs up and subscribing down below, I'd be very much appreciative of that. But without further ado, let's just get into this. Okay, so this on screen is my final team going into it. Just a disclaimer before we start, I have got one free transfer in the bank and I'm going to talk about why that is at the moment. Obviously, I've used all my chips, so I've just used 4 out of the 5 free transfers that we've got from this week to kind of get this squad going. So in goal, I'm going to go for Unai Simon. Now, I think this one is the whole defence in general is a tricky one because I think both teams will score. I do expect England to score. And I do also expect Spain to score. I don't think it's going to go through to extra time and penalties as a 0-0. So for me, it was kind of just a toss-up of which one do I kind of expect to maybe make more saves, or maybe if there is a clean sheet, have the higher chance. I think I'm going to go with Unai Simon on this one. We're going to go to 3-back. Currently, obviously, my team is set up in a 4-4-2, but that is because of one transfer, which I'm going to wait on, but I will talk about that in a bit. The 3 at the back that I will be playing is I will be starting with Kyle Walker, Mark Guéhi, and Dani Carvajal. Now, with the Spanish boys, the fullbacks were a tricky one. I just think Carvajal has just got a little bit more security than maybe Cucurella has. You know, we've seen from Premier League games how Saka and Cucurella get on, and usually Saka has the better of him. So for me personally, I kind of want to go for Carvajal. I think there's maybe a little bit more chance of an assist there from his side as well. And with the 2 English boys in Kyle Walker and Guéhi, the reason I've got them in there is predominantly for ball recoveries. There is obviously, you never know what can happen in these games. You know, it's a final, it is a one-off. There could be a clean sheet for either team. But I just think out of the whole England backline, I think Kyle Walker and Guéhi for me are the 2 kind of the strongest. I don't think John Stones has had necessarily the best tournament this time round, where I think Guéhi's probably been England, one of England's players of the tournament, and Kyle Walker, you know, is pretty much always consistent. So yeah, it will be a 3-back. It'll be a 3-4, either 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. Probably more likely to be a 3-5-2, but that will be my back 3. It'll be Carvajal, Guéhi, and Walker. Now onto the midfield. Let's talk about the actual confirmed players who will be a part of this 5 across the middle. So we'll start with Spain, and we're going to go for Dani Olmo and Nico Williams. Again, it kind of goes without saying, you know, the same way they were in the last round in the semi-finals, as well as they were against Germany in the quarterfinals. Them 2 were, that whole front 3 of Spain is just so impactful to the way they play. And I think you know, it goes without saying, Nico Williams and Dani Olmo will both be starting. Obviously, the attacking threat from Spain comes predominantly between these 2, as well as Lamine Yamal. So it kind of, when it comes to picking midfielders in this game, it's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to have at least one of them. But because it's the last game, I think you'd probably want to end up looking at both of them rather than just trying to guess which one it could be. And then on England side of things, I think Saka is just straight in there. I've gone for Declan Rice, one of 2 reasons. One, because I had him last week, so it was one less transfer to make this week. But also, I just think that with him, the ball recoveries, I do expect Spain to have more of the ball, which means that there's going to be more chances for Declan Rice to start winning the ball back for England. Obviously, he is playing in front of the back 3, so he's going to have quite a big responsibility to do that. So I just think that there's enough chance there for him to rack up some points, which probably would be more guaranteed than maybe like a Bellingham or a Foden getting on the score sheet. As part of the midfield. So yeah, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, definites. Now, as of right now, I've got Jude Bellingham on the bench. My one free transfer, and this is what I was contemplating waiting about, is solely based around Phil Foden. And it will be either one of Bellingham and Foden. For the sake of the transfer, I'm going to wait and see what happens with Harry Kane, because as you can see, he's actually flagged at the moment. And I'm going to get onto that when I talk about the forwards. But for me, I think right now, if I had a choice between either Bellingham or Foden, I think I'd probably side more towards Foden. The semi-finals, especially that first half of the Netherlands game, he looked a lot more lively than he has done throughout the whole tournament. And he was getting on the half turn, which is kind of what we as England fans want to see. We want to see Phil Foden playing in that number 10 role, but picking the ball up, back to goal, turning and driving. So as of right now, I've got that one transfer in the bank, but there is a chance that I do actually make the change, Bellingham for Foden, just because I think Foden will have maybe a little bit more of an impact in this game. But yeah, as I said, my midfield will definitely have 5 across it at the moment. So yeah, it will be a combination of Nico Williams, Dani Olmo, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, and one of either Bellingham or Foden, depending on how I use that free transfer. And the 2 forwards, again, this one's kind of picks themselves. Lamine Yamal, there is no other option unless you're going to go for Morata, who I don't think will play 90 minutes for Spain anyway. I think Yamal's probably got more of a chance in case the game does go extra time to stay on the pitch. So yeah, he is 16 years old. He is kind of like their main attacker at the moment. I know Nico Williams has pipped him with goals here. Danny Olmo, same with him, but kind of all eyes are around Lamine Yamal at the moment. So yeah, he kind of just goes without saying. Now Harry Kane is a transfer that I did make before he was flagged. I brought him in, and it came up that he's actually a doubt. Now I don't know how serious this is. Obviously, with the Euro Fantasy League, you can leave your transfers right up until the last minute, so we will see the starting lineup come out. Now the reason why I saved my last free transfer was if there is a chance that Harry Kane's not playing, I will swap him out for whoever comes in. Probably be Ollie Watkins, just because obviously he was the one that kind of got England to the final with that last minute goal. And actually, I do want to see Ollie Watkins start this game. I think his runs in behind could cause the Spanish back line quite a bit of a problem because there's not really much pace back there. So, if Harry Kane is injured for whatever reason, if Ollie Watkins is the guy to come in, that will be where my free transfer goes. It will be swapping Kane out for Watkins, and that will be my two up front in Lamine Yamal and Ollie Watkins. So yeah, that is my overall team. Like I said, the one transfer will be made either Bellingham for Foden or Kane for Watkins. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Like I said, this will be the last video on my channel about the Euro Fantasy. Obviously, main FPL is starting back up again soon. We've seen some price rises coming here and there. I'm going to wait for a few more to come out, and then I will make an overall video on that. But yeah, you can expect to see that from me probably some point next week, once a lot more of the price reveals actually do come out. So thank you guys so much again for watching. If you have enjoyed it, like I said, please drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you next time.